All right, camera's back on. It just was such a nice scene, I thought I'd put it on video. It's warmer today than it's been. The first video I did, it was 8 degrees. And it warmed way up to 18 degrees today, so woohoo! It's a heat wave. Anyway, we're coming up to Pine Tops and Bark Place. Bark Place is a little dog compound they have here in case you want to bring your dog up to run around with other dogs. They got a chain link enclosure, and they must have spent a small fortune on this sign, but that's okay. That's what public money's for. But I won't fault them too much because dog people pay taxes too. But anyway, that's Bark Place. Actually, that's just a sign for it. You can see it up there in the distance, the chain link enclosure. And now we're coming on to Pine Tops, which is, here's the sign for Pine Tops. But Pine Tops itself, and I wonder why they call it Pine Tops. Pine Tops itself is over here on the left. And you see that structure in there. That's a picnic. That's a picnic shelter. And the only time I've ever used this, I was up here with Jill, and it was pouring rain, and we dashed in there for shelter. Anyway, there's one out here in the front. This is classic, like late 1950s, early 1960s design. You see how that roof comes out, that roof line comes out to create that eave. They wouldn't do that today. But you'll also notice in the summertime, I'll take video up here in the summer, and you'll see that the roof is pretty much solid lichen at this point. Anyway, here's this one, but they're pretty much still standing. And they don't get any maintenance. But it was well built for its time. Let's see, can we see anything going wrong in here? Yeah, the wood's kind of could use a paint job. Could use a paint job. Everything pretty solid. Can you hear that? That's pretty solid. Really well built for what it is, which is a shelter. And there's one picnic table. They used to have more than one. This one down here has, a couple of picnic tables. It's the same design. It's the same everything. When I was a kid, a statement I don't really like to use because I don't like to use that word kid, but it always sounds foolish when you say, when I was a young boy. But when I was a kid, this is what we did. And we'd call it a day in the woods. The parents would pack us all up into a car. Now, in the 50s, you could drive into Breakheart, and the parents would pack us into a car, and we'd go someplace like this, and would park the car very close. It might be like behind these two trees over here, would have the Dodge, but would park and would unpack, and would have a picnic lunch here, and all laugh about the ants and shooing flies away. And this would be our day in the country. I might spend an hour or so running up and down this hill with my mother worrying that I might fall or something else might happen, and she'd let me know every 5 minutes. And at the end of the day, when we were all tired out from running up and down the hill or whatever, and we'd be packing the Dodge back up, my mother would announce, we would say, oh man, I'm tired. And my mother would announce, well, this fresh air tires you out. Because let's face it, folks, fresh air does a number on your system. Anyway, that's what she believed. as she lit up another cigarette. No, I think in the 50s she wasn't smoking yet. She didn't start smoking until the early 60s. So, but there was definitely something wrong with fresh air. Anyway, this is a little path I'm on here. We're gonna end up at the beach again, which I think I showed you a piece of the beach. But you know what? Today we'll take a walk around and see a walk out onto the beach and maybe some of the ice, and we'll take a quick view of the bathhouse, which is just I don't even know if it's open anymore. It's just a restroom. Because they have, in the summertime, they have a line of porta potties, which the space I'm coming about to now. Anyway, I'll be back. My hands are cold.